Travis Wingate. So, well, lots of news this morning, and as I'm now way behind. From the Deseret News, it was yesterday at 9:02 p.m. Meg Walter gives a very bigoted, hateful reply to Utahns making the comment that Utah's new flag is not a symbol of a Babylonian goddess. Not a Babylonian goddess, as her ignorance demonstrates, the Babylonian goddess Ishtar, who has a book in the Bible called the Book of Esther. It's phonetically the same. And Ishtar comes from the Egyptian ISIS, not the military group of terrorist faction, which is incorrectly identified as ISIS. It's IS. Everybody gets that wrong still to this day. But nonetheless, that's great that people can identify the 6. What? She says 8. It's 6. Let me find it. Man. Yeah. The 8-pointed star is a symbol. Oh, pointed. Okay. Yeah, 6 sides, but 8 points as a result. Too early in the morning, guys. To 3. No, it's still 6-pointed. Don't try gaslighting me this early in the morning, as it's almost 10. I slept in. Oh, not that star. The Native American. There we go. Now I got it. Yeah, I see what they're doing here. It's a Native American. They told us in the unveiling of it. It's the replacement, cultural appropriation of the natives' star symbol, which I did in my video. Again, are you guys not watching my video? You'd think that would be kind of important when you realize what I'm exposing. Dear God. I'm kind of at a crossroads because the Ishtar carved in stone ancient writing has her naked to illustrate the star symbol that they're referring to here. But because as I did the video, didn't I do the video or did I not do the video? YouTube uses number 1's ruling from the Supreme Court Justice on obscenity, whereas number 3 negates 1 and 2, and thus negates YouTube's community guidelines, as they need to let it flow, let it go, and leave women alone. But nonetheless, her Meg, is that her name? Yeah, Meg. She makes some apologetic errors of fallacy. As you can tell, she's Mormon, without having known that she's working for the Deseret News, which requires only Mormons who have temple recommends to work there now. Which, again, I remind you of the video I just uploaded this morning. The church is not approving any marriage outside of the temple, and thus, when they have any kind of business, no LGBTQ or woman who's not approved in a temple sealing marriage with a man is not approved to work for the church, because the church disapproves of your marriage. And so they have the right to say, nope, you cannot work for us. And this is a press. This isn't, a soup kitchen of the church. This is the press, run and operated by the church. That's what is so horrifying, that you guys are not getting and comprehending what a threat the church is. But nonetheless, her argument is to distract from the Babylonian goddess, simply by saying, nope, that's not true. She's not a symbologist. Stay in your lane and stay out of mine. I'm the symbologist. I'm Dan Brown's character in his movies. Tom Hanks's character. And so she then, after denying symbology, she then goes to belittle other states' flags. That's always positive for a church member to do. And so it's designed to take you away from the main argument that people recognized the Native American star as a Babylonian star. I pointed out that the six-pointed star is the Cairo of Constantine. And you guys just aren't paying attention because you end up doing the Babylonian one instead. And so she belittles Iowa because of the way they designed their cover, their flag logo. And so instead she read it from left to right, going down, rather than, as it's obvious, you follow the banner strand. She's not demonstrating intelligence. You kind of need intelligence to work for the press. And then she belittles Illinois, belittles Idaho, and belittles Hawaii. Yeah, it's the Confederate flag in Hawaii. And she shows nudity. I'm sure it's a man, but, who knows, maybe not. Maybe it is a woman, because it is Virginia, the Virgin State. So maybe it is a woman with her having murdered a man. But her point for this was not about the pornography, but about Sic Semper Tyrannis. She's concerned of the origin of that phrase, because clearly she doesn't know Latin. It's so always to tyrants. And so, yes, Virginia does not want a monarchy. They're showing their patriotism. But Meg can't comprehend this. And then she thinks she's funny by saying, who murdered Waldo, for the New Jersey flag. And then she mocks Kentucky. She mocks Maryland. And so, yeah, this is bigoted. This is where you're making fun of other states. And if she were to go on an LDS mission to one of these states, and the people she knocks on the door with to investigate the church finds out who she was and that she worked for the Deseret News and finds this article of hers, they're not going to think highly of her, let alone wanting to join the church now, because of her bigotry. And this is a problem that Mormons face when they cannot come to grips with reality, when they cannot recognize the symbolism of the church, let alone the state of Utah's new flag. It's the Cairo. And they culturally appropriated the Navajo star. They're not smart enough to recognize it as the Babylonian Star of Ishtar. I told you this in the video. But they do know that they're Constantine Christian. And so they made this specifically to replace the natives, to replace the Jews, to replace Joseph Smith's Zion. because this means that Zion is right here in Utah, and they are planning to build Zion right here. And when they talk about supporting the marriage bill that's going through the Senate right now, which will be historic for sure, but it means that the church, when they establish their nation state, that they can ban whoever they want to because of their religious freedom. And so people will be forced out of Utah if they don't get locked up for being a female or black or LGBTQ or poor. I told you this is what they are doing. They are replacing us. They are purging Utah of everybody they don't like. And this is dangerous. Flags of Confederates and Nazi symbols have all got their symbolic meaning, and the church in Utah knows all about this, and they use that against you, thinking to hide it with symbols that you know and think are harmless because they relate to the state of Utah. They hid it. And that's what you don't get, and that's what MEG is being used to distract you from, which is what Mormon apologists do for the church. MEG is the apologist for the state of Utah now, and for the flag, using fallacy argument to deceive you. So, you're not going to listen to me.